Good morning, everybody. And it's Teepa, and I have a guest today. This is Veronica. Hey, Veronica Shanklin, how are you?
I am well, thank you.
And although I'm in North Carolina, you're in
Texas, Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Now, I noticed you didn't say Fort Worth.
No, I mean, technically I'm in DeSoto, Texas, which is a suburb, but
I
Dallas.
know how this goes. There's a
Mhm.
difference apparently, though. I was not quite able to figure out what that was when I was down that way. But
So,
you and I met like 2 years ago when I did a
mhm,
program, and you gifted me with some amazing things. But the most important gift was what you were doing
mhm.
because you have started a legacy project, and I'm all about supporting legacy projects, and it's Care Warriors. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so I have a nonprofit called Dementia Care Warriors, and we provide resources and support to dementia family caregivers because we feel like when the caregiver is supported, the entire family, the entire unit, and the community is important. So we is supported. So we lift up the caregivers, and we do this through education, respite, and caregiver community. And so that's what's
Ooh.
really important
So
to us.
you offer a variety of things to help family carers. And one of the things that you're doing is helping with awareness because you were at a program that I did for 2 different years now. And it's a large program and it has a lot of professionals coming to it, but it also has some families.
Mhm,
But there were families who weren't able to come in person that were on virtually.
mhm,
But I also know that in the African American community,
mhm.
there's some special things that happen when someone in the family starts to develop brain change. And it's now called, let's go be public, let's go figure things out, let's go make a difference. It's not classically that, is it?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that African Americans are twice as likely to
Mhm.
develop Alzheimer's as our white counterparts. And so I think traditionally you've seen this, to put it frankly, as an old white people's disease from, marketing materials and what's out there. And so people don't realize how affected our community is by this disease. And so that's like our target audience is underrepresented populations because we don't necessarily get the education, we don't necessarily get the resources. And that's partly why I started Dementia Care Warriors, is because I just didn't see the caregiver next door benefiting and getting the help that they needed. And so when I started this journey, my caregiving journey, like 11 years ago. So started off caring for my grandmother, and then a year later, my mom was diagnosed.
Uh-huh. Had
And
your
so,
mom cared for your grandma on her own for a while?
yeah. And
Without
I
any
think those
support?
without any support, without any organizations, without any
Did the
community.
other family members sometimes get real picky about how mom did what she did?
Not necessarily. My mom was the only
Okay.
child. My mom was the
Oh,
only child.
ouch.
Yeah, so she was doing this on her own. And I know many people who have done this on their own, over the years, not realizing that there is help, there is support, there are resources out there, and so that's where we came in to try to let people know that.
And so I would say, in my generation, in the Caucasian group, the American, white group, there was a lot of secrecy around mama has, daddy has, grandpa has. And so it was really kept it in the house.
Hmm.
But that I think has persisted
Hmm.
in the African American community. Like we still don't like to point out, call out, do
I think,
anything about it, and even get identified. That's what I'm dealing with is a dementia. That's
right.
it. Oh, that's what that it looks like.
I think there's a lot of stigma,
Mhm.
around this disease and African American community and. Just in general, who wants to say that I have Alzheimer's,
I have brain change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why one of the reasons that I've gone to, we have brain change in the house. We've got some brain
Hmm.
change going on. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's not a brain change any of us would like, and we don't know that we're going to be able to reverse it. So we think we better figure out how to support one another with it, you know?
That's a great approach. Yeah, definitely.
But changing language for people who find the language to be too much to take in.
Hmm.
I know, like for us, people talk about, well, mom's in denial. And it's like, well, is she in denial or is she in an ability? She doesn't have the ability to take it in that way anymore. If so, can we change so that it works? I don't, it's possible.
Right. And families are in denial. you know?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like,
because nobody
oh,
wants
she's
their whole
fine.
life to change. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to accept that.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, Care Warriors, tell me a little bit more about the options that you have and how you do the support, because I've got a feeling people who are watching here, we have a wide audience that spans around the world here a little bit. So, what range do you serve, Veronica? And, like what kind of things are you doing
Okay.
more specifically?
Okay, cool. So definitely education is a big piece. And I've been a caregiver for 11 years and I'm still learning things that I'm like, people need to know this. So we're really big on education. We host an annual event. We just hosted in August called Revive Refresh. This
Ooh,
is our sixth year hosting it, and we have keynote speakers, breakout sessions, vendor resource fair, and we're catering to the caregiver. So I also have health screenings, also have free chair massages, a catered brunch because again, we want
give a break.
nice things, you know. And I think about a lot of times as caregivers, we're just in the house. Nobody is really thinking about us. Nobody is trying to do anything for us. So we do Revive Refresh. That's an annual event that we host. We're certified to offer a program called Dementia Live, which puts you into the shoes of a person
Mhm.
living with dementia. And so it's
Nice.
a simulation experience that promotes patience and compassion and empathy.
Hmm.
And so we go out, we take that in the community. We do it for support groups, we do it for churches, we do it for professionals, and then just general education as well. And then two more things. We also have a respite scholarship program where we partner with a home health company and we bring in a professional caregiver to give a caregiver a break for a day because caregiving is costly, as you know. And
Hmm.
a lot of times we just don't leave the house
Exhausting.
because I want to go out to dinner, but I'm probably going to have to pay a caregiver for a good 4 hours. You're
Hmm.
looking at maybe minimum $25 an hour.
Yep.
So now, not only am I going out to dinner, but now I got to pay an
Yep.
extra $100 for a caregiver. I'll just stay home,
Never mind. It's just
you
not
know?
worth it. Plus, I have to
So,
organize. I have to tell them what to do. I mean, all that in addition to paying them. I mean, so it's not even like, and I don't know whether I'll even get to eat dinner because last time I tried it,
I had
he
to leave.
said he had a breakdown and he couldn't take it. And so I got the phone call within, I just got my salad and there it was over.
Exactly. So respite scholarship, so you can have
Nice.
a break for a day on us. And then one of the most important things, and one of the things that I think is really special is community. Because
Hmm.
caregiving is so isolating, especially dementia family caregiving, you know, like babies, people love cute little babies and they want to come visit and see your baby and, all of that, but not so much for your mom who's living with brain change, And so a lot of times caregivers are just left out here on our own. And
Yeah.
so we are building a caregiver community and a space for caregivers to come let their hair down, for lack of a better word,
Yeah,
and
take a
to
deep breath.
thrive. Yeah,
Have a cup of tea or coffee or a soda
yeah,
or whatever you want. Drink of water
exactly.
and just sort of take a break for a little bit.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
we've been doing in-person support groups for years since the beginning.
Mhm.
And so now we have also added what I'm excited to share is an online community
Cool.
called Care Warrior Connect. And so this is a space because as a caregiver, we know that all caregivers can't come out to support group
Nope.
as much as you want to, as much as we're back to this whole sitter situation
Yep.
and all of that. But if you could just jump online to a virtual community that's there 24/7, maybe you have a question in the middle of the night, like,
Yep.
I can't get my mom to take a shower. You might jump in the community and say, anybody have any tips for this? Because now you're talking caregiver to caregiver. You can
Yep.
easily go Google that and you might find some academic, type suggestions.
Conversation.
Right. But to be able to connect with other
To
caregivers,
be
I think,
real time, like here's what helped here. Oh, and this is where I will say one of the things that happens is, oh, I saw your video. Some lady referred me to it. Like she had her mom and it was really struggling, and her mom has Lewy body and my mom has Lewy body. And so gave me your video on, and so I'll get that kind of sidebar. Like when
hmm
caregivers start working with one another and they start recognizing resources that are helpful in the moment, in real life, in real situations.
hmm
Because I mean, in my mind, there's too much out there that's like all. theory, but it's not actually okay. So, what do you do when you have them at the door and they're saying, I'm not going in there? It's like,
Been there.
okay, well, let's not go. Let's wash up at the sink then. Well, how about in the kitchen? Why don't we just wash up there? Then you don't have to go in there.
Right. Been there.
Well,
Done.
all right, but I don't like it. And it's like, I hear you, but the
Right.
water's warm there at least.
Right. Yeah. What exactly. So being able to get that kind of advice straight from another caregiver. There's also education,
Mhm.
webinars from experts, and just an online space that allows DCW to expand our reach beyond just this local Dallas area. Because I was getting calls from caregivers in other areas, and they're like, "Do you have any resources for me?" And I'm like, "I don't know anything about Kentucky, but
Yeah.
so
I do know some things about how to support people. And
exactly.
so that's why I wanted you to come on. That's why I wanted to have this conversation because we have got to get these doors open.
Hmm.
Too many people in isolation, too many people of color not having support that they need from peers who are
Hmm.
experiencing similar, different, but at least being able to have an open conversation and not feeling treated differently,
Right.
or not getting the information, which is, way too often what's happening. And that's not all right.
And I have great friends, just like my general friends in life, but
Yeah.
they're not going through this and
Nope.
they haven't been through this. And so, I can tell them things that my mom does. And sometimes you don't want to tell them things that your mom does,
If you're
because
not
they
in
just
it,
don't get
it's,
it.
like people are like, oh, why would she do that? And it's like, well, it's called brain change. And
Exactly.
she's got it.
Every time, why would she do that? I'm like,
I know.
huh.
And so it's like, well, I wasn't planning on giving a talk right now. I was actually planning on getting some support. How would that
Right.
be?
Exactly. So that's what Care Warrior Connect is, and we're
Yay.
excited to bring that to fruition.
Well, thank you. And thanks for sharing out. And so, if anybody wants to learn more, wants to find out more from Veronica, if you have a support need and you think Veronica might be somebody who can help you out, links there, connections there, because Veronica cares just like we care. Building
Absolutely.
community is what we're all about, and
Absolutely.
opening doors and windows so everybody gets a chance to be present. So,
Yes.
Veronica, thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely. Pleasure, joyful, and much appreciation.
Thank you.